The popular Christmas carol, The 12 Days of Christmas, was penned by Frederic Austin in the 1780s. The 12 Days of Christmas is an essential part of the holiday season, and without it, Christmas just wouldn't be the same. Throughout the holiday season, you'll likely hear this popular tune by Frederic Austin, which he wrote back in 1780. But when exactly do the Christmas holidays fall? And how well do you understand the song's deeper meaning? It's December 25th, the first day of Christmas. It's obvious that December 25 is the first day of Christmas because that's when Christmas actually begins. The 12 days beginning on Christmas Day have long been considered holy and celebrated as the holiday season. There is evidence that the practice of Twelvetide, or its predecessor, existed as early as the 6th century. The true love of the song's author presents him with a partridge in a pear tree on the first day of Christmas. It is widely assumed that this statement means Jesus was sent to earth by God, the true love, the partridge. It symbolizes the Christian belief that Jesus' birth on Christmas Day was divinely ordained. To this day, you may be puzzled as to why, out of all the bird options, author Frederic Austin settled on a partridge. A mother partridge will give up her life to protect her young. Christians believed that Jesus Christ sacrificed himself by being crucified. December 26 is the second day of Christmas. In Western culture, the second day of Christmas is more generally referred to as Boxing Day. Within the Christian faith, it is also known as the Feast of Saint Stephen. St. Stephen's Day is celebrated by Catholics all around the world to remember the martyr who died in the year 36 AD. The two turtle doves referenced in the song are symbolic of the Old and New Testaments. The turtle dove has long been seen as a symbol of hope, peace, and love. The Christian faith holds that God's plan for humanity is fully revealed in the Old and New Testaments. December 27th, the third day of Christmas. St. John the Evangelist is celebrated on the third day of Christmas, which is also known as the Feast of St. John. One of the main reasons he gained such widespread attention was because the Bible called him a person Jesus loved in the Christmas carol, The Three French Chickens, given as a present stand for the virtues of trust, love, and optimism. Paul, another apostle, wrote the book of 1 Corinthians, which contains these classic Christian principles. Paul claimed in his writings that these principles would prevail for all time. December 28 is the fourth day of Christmas, a day set aside to remember the infant males who perished at the hands of King Herod during his quest for Jesus. According to the Bible, King Herod was concerned about the newborn King Jesus and set out to track him down and murder him. Rather than give up, he ordered the execution of all male infants in Bethlehem. The day is today celebrated as the Feast of the Holy Innocents, or Holy Innocents' Day. It is commonly accepted that the four calling birds in our merry song represent the New Testament's four evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Each of the New Testament authors penned a book titled after themselves. They each gave their own account of Jesus' early existence. Collie birds is an old term for blackbirds, and some historians think that's what the song was all about. Day 5 of Christmas, which is December 29. On the 5th day of Christmas, we also honor St. Thomas of Canterbury, also known as Thomas Becket, on December 29, 1170. One of the world's most well-known martyrs, Thomas Becket, was brutally put to death. There are references to 5 golden rings in the song, which represent the first 5 books of the Bible. The Pentateuch, sometimes called the Torah, consists of the books of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Moses, one of God's most influential prophets, is widely credited for writing them. They tell tales about the origin of mankind and his consequent descent into sin, the 30th of December, the 6th day of Christmas. It is widely held that the 6th day of Christmas, which falls around halfway during our 12 days of celebration, refers to the 6 days of creation. According to Christian doctrine, God created the universe and everything in it over the period of 6 days. The book of Genesis tells the story of creation in detail, outlining what God made on each of the 6 days. Some Roman Catholics observe the feast day of Saint Egwin of Worcester, who passed away in the year 717 on December 30. The evening of December 31st, the seventh day of Christmas, falls on the last day of the Gregorian calendar. Many stories feature a day of rest on the seventh day because of the widespread belief that this number signifies completion. New Year's Eve is currently celebrated on this day in most countries. In the popular Christmas song, Seven Swans, a swimming symbolise the seven sacraments of the Catholic faith. Among these are the sacraments of baptism, confirmation, the Eucharist, penance, the washing of the sick, marriage, and holy orders. To some, swans represent virtues like innocence and chastity, hence the birds themselves have spiritual significance. This monogamous and faithful relationship lasts a lifetime. January 1st, the 8th day of Christmas, the 7 represents completion, whereas the 8 represents beginnings and growth. New Year's Day, the first day of the Gregorian calendar, is considered the 8th day of Christmas. The Catholic Church also celebrates Mary, Jesus' mother, on January 1. The song's author gets 8 maids a-milking on the 8th day of Christmas. Many people see this as symbolic of Jesus' parables or additional blessings. Those who are spiritually poor, those who weep, the meek, those who seek righteousness, the merciful, the pure of heart, those who make peace, and those who are persecuted are the recipients of these blessings. January 2nd, the 9th day of Christmas. It is customary for Christians to reflect on the life of St. Basil the Great on the 9th day of Christmas, or January 2. Though he lived and died in the 1st century, this historical figure is still remembered as a firm supporter of the Church. There is a musical correlation between the 9 fruits of the Spirit, described in the book of Galatians, and the 9 ladies' dancing song. These include things like self-control, kindness, and tenderness. Day 10 of Christmas, or January 3rd, Feast of the Holy Name of Jesus, is held annually on January 3, often known as the 10th day of Christmas. The holiday was first observed in 1530. According to the New Testament, this is an opportunity to reflect on the naming of Jesus. In the traditional Christmas song, the 10 Lords, leaping represent the 10 Commandments. These 10 teachings are widely recognized as the cornerstone of both the Christian and Jewish faiths. January 4, the 11th day of Christmas. To celebrate the 12th day of Christmas, a gift of 11 pipers piping is given. In popular culture, pipers are often depicted as leaders because of their musical influence. Simon Peter, Andrew, James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James, son of Alphaeus, Simon the Zealot, and Thaddeus are sung about here as the 11 devoted disciples of Jesus, 12 days after Christmas on January 5th. The Epiphany is celebrated on January 5th, marking the end of the well-known 12 days. It's a festival honoring the unveiling of Jesus Christ as deity. The song's final offering, 12 drummers drumming, alludes to the Apostles' Creed, which contains 12 doctrines. Last but not least, each of the gifts given during the 12 days of Christmas has a spiritual or religious significance. As a result, artists were inspired to write songs like this one, to communicate a distilled form of important religious principles.